PTSG, post-traumatic stress gift. What was given to us? I'm Eric Hollenbeck. Welcome to Tales from the Ox.
There's been a number of videos we've done now where you've mentioned PTSG, that there was a gift that you got from serving in the war. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if you could explain to us what the gift was.
So this is a little tough for me, folks, but yes. In order to understand this, we all know what PTSD is. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And we get that. But I think that there is also a PTSG element of that. Post-traumatic stress gift. Something that we got that there's no other way to get. Now I have to start out with the PTSD so that we work into, but this is a redemption. The redemption's going to come because I'm going to go to PTSG. So please stand by, folks. I remember that lieutenant when I got out of the Army, and there were 4 or 6 of us in this great big giant room. It's midnight, and we're going to get out. And he comes up to the podium in front of us, and we're having dinner. They made us a steak dinner for the 4 or 6 of us. And he comes up and gets behind that little podium kind of thing. And he says, now you guys are getting out. God bless you. You made it. You did great. You were fantastic. All of that. And then out of nowhere, he reaches down inside the podium and pulls out a steak knife. And he says, you see this now? This is for cutting meat. This is for cutting your steak. This don't cut people no more. He reaches down and there were 3 things that I remembered. He pulled out a deer rifle. He says, you see this? This ain't a weapon no more. This is for hunting game. This is a deer rifle. He pulled down a hank of rope and said, you see, this ain't a garrote anymore. This is for tying stuff down. And you hold stuff in place with it. And then he says, now I want to tell you boys. And that was the absolute right word. Boys. I want to tell you boys that you're going to do all the tricks in the book to bury what you just went through. Some of you will use work. Some of you will use alcohol. Some of you will use drugs. Some of you will use a combination, any combination of those 4. And to keep that buried and stay away from it. But I guarantee you, before you die, you will have to come to grips with what you went through. Ben, that was the smartest guy on the planet. a lowly goddamn lieutenant. Boy, he was brilliant. I had no idea what he was talking about. None of us did. This stupid old man just let us eat our steak here and get the heck out the doors. And but he knew. And now, 60 years later, I know. Yeah, he was a smart guy. When you go through heavy trauma, and everybody does, please understand that. But I can only talk about combat because that's what I know. I can only talk about what I know, folks. And there is a change in the brain. And for all you young returning veterans, this is what I'm doing this for. Otherwise, I'd let this whole segment drop like a lead weight in the punch bowl. But the young guys and gals coming back got to know they can walk the path. That there's ones before them that have done it. When you go through this trauma, trauma, there is a change in the brain, a physical change. And I'm told, I don't know nothing, but I'm told that they can measure it. It's a part of the brain, kind of in the middle and down low or somewhere. I don't know where it is. And I heard it called the reptilian brain. So having said that, the heaviest burden of PTSD, I know that every one of us is carrying is the survivor guilt. Why did we make it? And so many guys didn't. That's the pack we carry. That's the real heavy burden. And then you have and then that leads into the dreams. That leads into everything. The not liking loud sounds. You know, I've joked with you folks, I can't run the router. I can run the shaper, no problem. But it's 6,000-7,000 RPM less than the router. I can't run that router. I hate that router. Yeah, I don't like that at all. So there are specific handicaps. That's the correct word, handicaps brought on by PTSD. But there are also some really specific superpowers brought on by what we went through. Now, for you guys and gals, please, I want to. This is a rabbit going across the road, and I got to chase it. Going to go to the shrinks at the VA. God bless you. Do it. I've been doing it. I get it. Everything's A-okay. Don't beat yourself up over that. But the shrink, and they don't have this, need to have a sign on their door that says, I'm the shrink. I don't do nothing but listen. You have to do all the work. Sorry. Because I wasted the VA's first 2 years of shrinkdom money. I'm an American. I know how it works. You go in, you pays your money to the doctor, you gets the pill, and you're fine. Well, where the hell's the fine? I'm not getting the fine here. It's up to you. It's up to you guys to talk to somebody who can listen. The big thing is that as you talk to these guys and gals, the shrinks, all of a sudden, gears begin to line up. And at first they go clunk and clunk, but over time, they start to line up and turn. I am 77 years old. I've been on this journey a long time. And 3 days ago, Ben, I had a Zoom meeting. Yeah, that means a computer. With the son of the sergeant. We just did a video on it. The son of the sergeant of 3rd Platoon, Ron Mayer. And Ron and I were tight, but you have to understand the word tight. The word tight means we would, at night sometimes I would go over and show him my poetry and he would correct the spelling. And then we would talk a little bit. That's as tight as any of us got, especially with me, the radioman. Nobody got tight with me. Baldwin, my own sergeant, talked with me twice, 2 times in my entire tour at night. I thought he didn't like me. That's what I thought. And he had already lost 3 radiomen before me. He'd only been in country a month and a half before I came. So tight, like you people think tight, is different in combat. But Ron and I talked, and in talking with his son, because his son said, "You're the only friend that he had, real friend in his afterlife, after the war." And he said, when you would call, his face would just light up and say, "It's Eric, it's Eric." And he and his wife would gather around the phone and we'd talk. And all of a sudden it dawned on me. And we're talking 60 years later. The reason for that, the reason he and I could get that tight is because I wasn't his responsibility. He had 20 guys, his platoon, to try and keep alive. I was Sergeant Baldwin's responsibility. Sergeant Baldwin had 20 guys. I was one of those 20 guys. So he and I could talk at night because I wasn't in his pack that was weighing him down to keep alive. I was Eric. And then that slopped out over into real life when we got back to the real world. And he and I had walked the same paths and done the same thing. We could communicate in the real world now between each other. That took over 50 years to figure that out. You see, this is a slow process. If you're Eric, if you're a smart guy, probably can breeze through it in 20 years. I don't know. I'm just saying that there's many, many, many things that have to come together and begin changing the memories and getting them in their right places. Because they're pretty jumbled up. Okay, so you know what the disorder is. I can't remember names to this day, Ben. Yeah, I remember your name because you're here every day of the week. I got Viviana's name. I know Denise's name. Everybody else, it just right over my head. I smile and I know their face. Yeah, I got it. I'm on it. I can't remember their name to save my soul because that was beat out of me. You didn't want that. Don't remember their name. Don't know them. They could be a mannequin the next moment. Don't know them. You're a walker right now, and that's great. And you and I are the best of friends, and we're family. And the minute you're a mannequin, I don't know. I don't know who that was. And that's this reptilian brain trying to adjust things so that they can work. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. So now if we can do the redemption and go into the PTSG, post-traumatic stress gift. What was given to us? And one thing that was given to us is the ability to endure. I know full well, I have no doubt in my mind, I can endure pretty much anything and endure. I can do it. It ain't a problem to me. When I went to help that lady that the guy was beating up, and I could endure a beating. Bring it on. I'm okay. I can endure. I didn't get a beating, but I could sure endure one. And that was at 73 years old, I went and saved that lady. My good friend, my friend, and fellow brother in arms, David Pendergast. He was a combat veteran, and he became an attorney in the court's attorney. He would go to court and all that junk stuff. And he even was the city manager here for Eureka for a couple of years. And he told me one time, as bad as it gets in court, as bad as it gets, and it can get downright ugly in court. His mantra was, they're not shooting live ammunition. No problem. I've been through live ammunition. They ain't shooting live ammunition. It's A-okay. And that's a good mantra for all of us. They're not shooting live ammunition. They're out there throwing puffballs. And none of that matters. Some of the comments that we get, and you can cut this, some of the comments that we get about the war, how many women and children did you kill? They're not shooting live ammunition. I'm okay. It's okay. Just so you know, I never did see a woman or child. Never saw a house, never saw nothing. I saw the jungle and NBA troops. That's the two things I saw. And big snakes. The other G gift is we are trained by life. The military can try and take all but by life, by the actual happenings, we are trained to live with fear and function with terror. Live with fear and function with terror. Who were the first that they sent in after Katrina? The very first that they sent in was a unit of combat veterans, because they knew how to live with fear and function with terror. You know, we're in a really easy time right now. We human beings on this planet. We think it's tough. We are. This is not a hospitable place to live. I mean, it's ducky. It's the best it could be for us. But there ain't nothing says we have to be here. There ain't nothing in the natural world says we have to be here. So nobody wants to swim with the barracudas until the sharks come around. And then all of a sudden the barracudas are your best friends in the world. Boy, yay, barracudas. And that's what I was trained for. Training, that's by life, by circumstances. That's what I was trained for. Another big gift, and here you guys and gals is a way to overcome. Now, a shield to put up, a shield for that survivor's guilt. And this took me years to figure out. Because we go into it pissed off, like we got crapped on somehow, like we got, how come? Yeah, I didn't sign up for the 101st. I sure wasn't, I didn't go into I was drafted. I was a draftee the whole way. I never once raised my hand for nothing. I was just picked. And they sent me up to the 101st. I was the only one in the airplane. Whole goddamn cargo plane going up there, and I was the only one out of that grouping. And I'm not blowing my own horn, please, folks. I'm just saying that I could be pissed off. In fact, for a lot of years, I was pissed off to the highest degree of festivity. Why did I have to do that? Until finally I came to grips. Why not me? We did what had to be done. We stopped tattoo. We did what had to be done. Why would I, Eric, ask somebody else to do it instead of me? Just because I didn't volunteer. I was tough. I had a strong back. Always have, and I made it. I had all the attributes, and I made it. Why not me? Even if I didn't make it, why not me? That's the point. That's your shield, guys and gals. Why not you? Why would you ask somebody else to do that instead of you? Just because life's unfair? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a real bitch. Sorry. It's okay. And we got a gift out of it. Another gift is, I think it's called perseverance. I think that's the right word. Viv and I started this company 52 years ago with a $300 bank loan. Now, how many companies do you know are still in business 52 years later? Period. How many? And then, how many started with nothing? And now how many? It's because we could persevere. We knew, my friend said one time, ain't nobody goes out of business with their sleeves rolled up. Nobody. As long as you're still in there kicking, there's always a way. Life always gives you a way, and it does. I'm here to prove that. So that perseverance, and I have another story to show that. Ben, you can go out later and film this, but there's on the hearse, we built an absolute historically accurate reproduction of the hearse that carried Abraham Lincoln in 1865. It took us 13 months to build that. And we built it with 24 heavy combat veterans. Heavy PTSD combat veterans, never had a tape measure in their hand before a day in their lives. And only they could have done it. Because, number one, they understood the word mission. And there is no more powerful word for me in the English language than mission. You know, my sergeant would be proud of me. I have held my position for 52 years. And number two, retreat was not an option. So on one of the, we poured our own metal castings for that hearse, and we taught ourselves all of that stuff, how to do that whole thing. We made all of the pieces for it and put it all together. One of the castings looks like a license plate bracket, okay? And out of all the castings on that wall that we did, we had to make our own patterns, wood patterns, and then ram them up in sand, and then open it up and pull the patterns out and put them back together and pour the casting, all that sand casting, all that. None of us knew that. We taught ourselves that on the fly. Well, that license plate one was, it looks like the simplest one on the whole board there. Drove them crazy. 11 days of, oh hell, miserable failures is giving them way too much credit. That is way too good for what they did. And I'm not talking 11 castings. I'm not talking one try a day. I'm talking 3, 4 tries every day. But because they were veterans, they came back for the 12th day. And they would have come back for the 13th. On the 12th day, they came up with an idea. The idea worked. And they had all 6 castings done in a day and a half. All of them. Perfect. That's what the gift is. I'm willing to take a beating because I have a mission, and that mission has to get done. How many people don't have that? 3 or 4 days of trying, it can't be done. In our position, it had to be done, period. There was no option. There ain't no cavalry coming over the hill. That ain't going to happen. It has to be done. And I learned, I had been exposed in my life before the Army to, because I started working in the woods at 16, to camaraderie, the crew camaraderie. We were a crew, and that solidifies so tight in the military. That becomes, you suddenly understand a closeness that you had no idea even existed with your fellow man. It's fragile, yes, because they have to do their job. If you're on that side of me, I don't care if you're red, green, purple, or polka dot. If you're laying down cover fire and you're on this side of me, and you can be black, white, red, or rainbow, it'll make no difference to me. You're laying down cover fire and I'm laying down cover fire for you. The 3 of us can't get any tighter. We're as tight as you can get. And we don't agree on everything, and that's okay. It's okay to disagree. But we do agree that we are here to keep each other alive. That's what we agree on. And when we have reached that agreement, the rest of it's a moot point. And I think the country today could use a little of that. It's okay to disagree. That's fine. That don't mean that you ain't brothers and sisters. That don't mean nothing. That's just some weird talk that you do in the foxhole at night. That don't mean nothing. The big thing is your actions. And what are your actions? Are you laying down cover fire for me? and I'm laying down cover fire for you, and you're laying down cover fire for me. We got this. We got this completely under control. And that kind of brotherhood, brother and sisterhood now, can't be experienced in a whole lot of different ways. There's some, I'm sure, the first responders, the firemen, I'm sure that there's other ones, but it's a finite. So in the people that aren't those things, look for it. How are you covering for your guy? And how are you covering for your sis? And are they covering for you? Yeah. So there are gifts in post-traumatic. And for you young veterans, I want you to know that trail's been walked. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. Keep your eyes open, your ears open, and know that you got to do all the work. That's the whole goddamn meat in the nut. You cracked it up open, and that's it. You got to do all the work. Sorry. And slowly you'll start to put things together and see that it's okay. Everything's okay. They ain't shooting live ammunition. Oh, God bless you, David. They ain't shooting live ammunition. Okay, folks. I hope I got that across today. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And you can also watch videos here and here.